Hey guys, how's it going? Previously on the channel, we were working on this 1969 Cub Cadet 105. This is the Cub Cadet 105 that had some ignition problems. I have some unfortunate news. I had an issue with my computer. For whatever reason, it would not let me use it unless I updated it. And, well, I was on there editing the video, funny enough, for this tractor, and the computer ended up crashing. I had all the files saved for this video on the computer, as well as some other, not really many other things, but some other projects. I had deleted the video footage off of my phone, which is what I'm currently filming on, because I needed more space on here in order to film more videos. So when I'm done recording a video, I take it from the phone to the computer. And the original file was not on the phone, unfortunately. I lost the video footage, all the footage on putting this engine back together that came out of this Cub. I'm not sure if we lost the footage of taking the engine apart and putting it back together, but I do know that we lost the footage of putting the engine back together and getting it to this point. I heard that. Did you guys hear that? And that's not the dipstick, because right there's the dipstick. Oh my. It works! Look at that! It works! Yeah, sometimes those bearings tend to hold themselves in, so they're going to come off for whatever reason. This should come off, I think. It's just going to ride right through the hole. So, after that was all done, I got the engine put back together. I checked the rings. The rings looked fine. They had a good gap in them. The rings went back in. I didn't change them. I didn't hone it. I might have honed. Did I hone this one out? I can't remember if I did or not. So, that's where we're at for right now. I do remember this engine being honed before I owned it. So, there you go. So we are currently at the point where the engine is ready to put back together. One suspicion that I had when I pulled it apart and I looked at it, I didn't change the cam. I thought about changing the cam because the cam didn't exactly look right to me. I just kind of brushed it off and said, well, if it has a problem, we'll take it apart later and see what's going on. However, the cam looked a little bit rough. It looked a little bit wore out, so it might be the problem. It might not be the problem. I guess we'll find out. And then we had some gasket problems. I ordered an oil pan gasket for it because it needs a gasket. I had every gasket for it except for an oil pan gasket. And I ended up getting sent a oil pan gasket for an 8-horse Kohler, which, how the hell do you screw that up? So I sent them a message and I threw a fit about it. I told them straight up, what the hell are you going to do about this? You sent me the wrong gasket. I expect to know what the hell you're going to end up doing about this, because this is ridiculous. They sent me my money back and they said that I could keep the gasket. So I went on there and I ordered another oil pan gasket from somebody else. This time I ordered 2 oil pan gaskets because I needed one for that engine sitting over there. And so they took forever to get here. They sent me 2 head gaskets, not oil pan gaskets. So yeah, I'm pretty pissed off about this one still. So I lose my footage, and then I'm getting wrong gaskets. I had the thought go through my mind of selling it because I had just had enough. So if you're seeing this, I still have the tractor and I didn't sell it. So yeah, that is where we are at currently. I'm waiting on an oil pan gasket. Everything, however, is done currently. The engine is all put back together, ready to go, has compression and everything. I'm being careful how much I turn it right now because I don't want to score up that bore. I did put a little bit of oil, a little bit of motor oil in it. That way it had some lubrication for the first time that it cranks, but that's really it. So yeah, let's go on ahead and I will go on ahead and get it set up and ready to put the new oil pan gasket in. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just getting tired of waiting on this thing. Recently had another tractor come in that I pulled the engine apart in because the engine had a bad governor. You'll see it on the channel here later. Here's what we're going to do. This is its oil pan gasket. It is in one piece and it seems fairly okay. I mean, it's not cracked anywhere or ripped. We're going to throw it on here because I'm curious and I want to know if this thing's going to run or not. I know people are going to be up in arms over this one, but we're going to try it. And we're just going to see what happens. We're going to see if this engine will start or not. I'm probably going to hook an ignition system up to it sitting here on the bench. And after we do that and we get it to possibly start, we can see if it'll run, how it runs, and I guess get it ready to go back in the tractor. Then we'll have an extra gasket sitting around for if I ever have to pull another oil pan. If it doesn't start and run, I'm going to just go on ahead and say it. We're probably going to have to pull the cam because, like I said before, that cam almost kind of looked like it was a little bit wore out to me. However, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe, like I said before, it's not an issue. So we'll see. So here is my current plan. We are going to put the oil back in this that came out of it before. That oil was new, and I had just changed it. So I know for a fact there's nothing wrong with the oil that came out of this block. Because, like I said before, it was brand new. So we're going to put that oil back in here. That way we're not wasting brand new oil if we have to take it back apart, you know, or if that ends up leaking. That's kind of where we're at for right now. Can we get it to sit flat? Perfect. Just kind of giving it a one last look, you know, before I piece everything back together. Everything in there looks fine. So, God damn it, it's sitting on the oil pan. Oops. I will add oil to it if, actually on second thought, if the engine starts, there we go. If the engine starts after we piece everything back together, then we'll just go on ahead. I might, what do I want to do? I might leave that oil in it that I put in it that came out of it before. It was brand new oil, so I'm not, you know, all that worried about it being bad or anything like that, but make sure everything's out of this pan. I don't want any of that dirt in here. If it ends up running, we'll probably just add oil to it because I think I've used some of it in other things. For example, I put some of it in a little oil can that I use to oil cylinders and oil engines. You know, when I go to put the piston in them, that way. Ignore that. It should say engine oil, but that's been on it for a few years because that's what it was used for back when this was a shop. So I think it just had light hydraulic oil in it. So that's where we're at for now. Let's just go on ahead and let's stick this pan back on. Yes, there is. Cool. And then after we get the pan put back on, we can see it should hold oil. It wouldn't surprise me if it holds oil. But once we get it back together, we can see if it runs. And if it runs, we'll put it in the tractor. If it doesn't run, well, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Well, if it doesn't run, we're pulling it back apart and we're swapping that cam. So that's where we're at for now. There is probably a 70 or 80% chance we're going to be getting back into this engine. So hopes aren't very high for it, but I'll keep my word. Or not that. We'll just go with it and we'll see what it does. Maybe it'll start, maybe it won't. I will say though, this is one that I'm definitely happy to have put back together and finally getting off my bench. I've been wanting to run this one for a while. Well, we had just put it back together too before we took it apart. We put a new head gasket on it and everything. Yeah, so far it seems like it's doing what it should and it's crushing down and everything. So, I mean, that's good. That gasket should seal, hopefully. I wanted to grab a longer extension for it. Probably going to end up grabbing a 12 or a 6-point socket instead of a 12, because this is a 12-point socket that I have on here at the moment. I really don't want that to break, you know, because if that breaks, then, or if it jumps off and spins, then well, we're in trouble. There we go. I would say that's tight. What's this? Oh, that's not what I was looking for. Let's see if... Just giving it one last look. I want to put something under here to support it. We could put... We're going to have to put something in it to support it. That way the engine's level. And we're probably also going to want to strap it down to the table. That way it can't escape and run away and do whatever. By run away, I mean fall off the bench. Oh, yes, I am. Let's see. That should, oh, it'll work. Oh boy, here come all the comments. This one, the threads look much better on it than that other bolt that I had. They actually look better than the threads on that bolt too. There we go. They should be about the same length. You know, if I'd have looked in here, there would have been one of those bolts. Because I just found one in here. We could have had a fourth one. Oh Although I don't think that would be, I don't think that, no, that's a different, yeah, that one's longer. No, it wouldn't have worked. Actually, we probably don't want to run them all the way in yet. We probably want to, actually on second thought, run them in all the way, and then we'll thread them out as they need to be. And we'll just go, you know, however many turns they need in order to come out to the point that it sets level, you know. That's about as far in as that one wants to go. That's about as far as that one wants to go. That one looks longer. Actually, it's the way I'm looking. Yeah, it's the way I'm looking at them. Now they look about the same. This one looks like it's in more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's bring it out 5. Half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if that sits level. We might want to put something over there too, since it's going to be sitting. It's not going to be. Look at that. Yeah, see, it does want to come over to this point. However, that is because, yeah, see, we're sitting on top of the thing right there. So we probably want to grab another one of them bolts. It's about the same length. Yeah. So let me do that real fast. This went redneck real quick, didn't it? Although it works. Let's see if we can get this thing. There we go. Let me grab another. Let's see if this one will. Actually, we might even be able to eyeball that. That looks level right there. Oh, look at that. Perfect. All right, so do we want to run a strap around it? Or do we just want to leave it alone and say that that's good? That's something that I need to do, is cut a section of frame off of one of the parts tractors that I have and set it up so I can bolt engines into it and set them up on the table and find out how they run. But yeah, it doesn't seem, it's got a little bit of a wobble to it, but I mean, it's not horrible. Do we want to? Yes. No oil. Let's go on ahead and put some oil on it. There's about a quart, maybe less than a quart in here. Yeah, a little bit less than a quart. However, it should be enough. We just gotta. Is that oil? No, I thought I saw oil. It does look a little bit rough. However, I think that is from mixing with, you know, all the probably the grime that was inside of that oil pan. See, now it looks pretty clear now that it's going in by itself, just dripping. So again, you know, it never ran with the oil that was in it. Now I did filter it out a couple times, so we'll just go with that. Let's take our dipstick and we'll run it in. Again, I'm watching it. And we're on the, I mean, we're not, there's enough in there. We should be fine. It's not full. However, you know, I mean, we're not, again, I said it before, we're not going to be running this thing for an hour up here on this table. We're just going to start it, make sure it starts, make sure it runs and seems like it does as it should. Then we're going to shut it back off. And after we shut it back off, we're probably going to drain that oil back out of it. Yeah, and then after we drain that oil out of it, we'll put fresh oil in it or take that pan. No, we won't take the pan back off and flush it. It should be fairly clean inside that block. So again, I did take that block in the house and rinse it out. I don't remember, I don't think I filmed it on camera. Or I did record it, but I lost the video, unfortunately. So that's kind of where we're at for right now. Just, I got to remember things that I did and didn't do according to the camera. Here's what we're going to do. This is my battery charger. I know for a fact you guys have seen it before. This is going to be the ignition that runs the coil. And then I'm going to grab a battery and my jumper cables, and they're going to be what cranks the engine over and starts it. So that's how we're going to be doing this thing today. So let me get this one down here is the one that we want. That is the one that goes to the starting circuit. The way a generator works is one of the terminals on it is for your starting circuit of the generator that kicks the motor over. The terminal that is usually labeled F, standing for field, is your field terminal. What the field terminal is that is when the generator is spinning. When this is not spinning it, you know, it's spinning from the engine. It sends current through the field terminal to the battery, and it charges, actually it goes through a voltage regulator, which converts it over from alternating current to direct current. And once it flips it around to direct current, it might even already be direct current from the generator. I'm thinking of a stator when I said that. But it goes to the regulator, and then from the regulator, it goes to the battery as direct current, also known as DC voltage. So for those of you who didn't know that, that is how a voltage regulator works, and also how a generator works. A voltage regulator will convert it from alternating current to direct current. That way it can charge your battery, because you can't charge a battery off of direct or alternating current, because alternating current changes as it wants. It can go from, you know, this is positive, this is negative, to this is now positive, this is now negative. So it can change in that way, you know, if that makes sense. So let's put our positive, oops, glad I caught that. Let's put our positive here, and we will put our ground over, where's a good place to ground this? Right there, to the opposite post of this. Let me get the battery. I think I got a battery. So now we want to, you can do this exact same thing with a magneto or solid state engine. However, with a magneto or solid state engine, you will not need a wire going into your coil. The coil generates current off of the spot on the flywheel. So you won't need to worry about this. You'll just need a lead going to your starter. Let's see also another way to test a generator. Get it spinning and then take the lead off of the starter circuit and put it on the field circuit. If the generator abruptly stops in a hurry, that means your field coil's good. If it doesn't stop or show no sign of stopping, your field current's shot, or your field terminal, your winding is shot. Let's see if it'll crank. All right, good. Let's go on ahead. I do not think it has gas in it. Put some fuel in here. And after we put some fuel in it, we will let it feed into the carb. And once it feeds into the carb, it should start. Probably just going to put enough in it to, that's probably enough right there. Because I saw it moving in the line. And then we'll probably just keep it, we'll leave it choked. We'll see what it does. If it doesn't start, then my guess, like I said before, my guess is going to be the crankshaft is, or the camshaft is the problem. So now we have power going to the coil. The engine should start. Ready? I'm not sure if you guys heard it, but I heard it. So it did try to fire. Let's unchoke it. Let's check and see if we are getting spark. That is going to be our next culprit. Is the plug wet? The plug is dry. Okay. That could be good. But it can be bad at the same time, and usually it's bad. We may not have put enough gas in it. That might be the problem too. Let me get this spark plug somewhere I can see it, which now I can. Let's see if it has spark. And if it does, we'll go from there. Ready? We have spark, so it's a fuel problem. So, I did hear it try, I thought earlier. Wrong hole. However, it may have, like I said, it may not be, there may not be enough fuel in it right now, so we'll just, I guess just go on ahead and put more gas in it. This is the proper way to start engines. People that start them in engine stands are not doing it right. This is the correct way. There we go. Yeah, see now it's flowing better than it was before. Yep. Like I thought. We just didn't have enough gas in it. Okay, cool. I did see it flow, so. Oh no. We're leaking. Alright, let's find out why. I mean, a little bit of risk. Yeah, it's leaking from up here. Wonderful. I wonder if, yeah, it's coming. Well, now that it seems like it has slowed it down, let's just move our leads. Let's just do this instead. And we'll just see, what happens. Why is this not stopped? I think I know the exact problem. It's pulling on that through here. And if we do that, it should make it quit. There we go. That's probably what it wanted right there. Yeah, see, now it seems like it has slowed down. Yeah, we had some pressure put on it, which I bet that's, is it leaking from that fitting? Yeah, see, now it has stopped. So yeah, we just had some pressure. We have too much pressure on it. We'll see what it does now that we know we are getting gas. Ready? Oh. Gotta hook the ignition up, you moron. Ready? Let's see what happens. Ha! I knew it! All right, that is good. So, okay, here's what we have figured out. I think the engine was out of time a little bit. It did start, as you guys saw, and it was choked, and it's still leaking. Great. So, okay, it was starting to run rough. The reason it was starting to run... Sorry about that, guys. My phone ran out of storage. But here's where we're currently at. This engine runs. I think the reason why it was having problems before was it was, like I said before, I have a suspicion this engine was not exactly in time. I was just about to say I think the oil leak has stopped leaking, but apparently not. I've noticed a wet spot right... Oh, it's just the paint. So, that is where we currently are. I think the next step for this tractor, for this engine, is we are going to be taking it and mounting it back into its house, which is right there. This is exciting. I think we are going to... I'm not sure yet. Well, I'm definitely going to have to put new oil in it. I'm not sure if I'm going to add oil to it. I'm probably just going to go on ahead and drain the oil out of it and put new oil in it. You know, that way I can have that oil back for the can that I use it in. So yeah, let's go on ahead and let's get the tripod set up, and we're going to get the engine put back in here. And after we get the engine put back in here, we'll go from there. I'm probably just going to keep you guys time-lapsed. I guess we'll just see where it goes. I might, well, depending on how things go, I might leave it time-lapsed. I might not leave it time-lapsed. So yeah, here we go. Not bolted back on. I haven't hooked the throttle cable up. Right now the engine's just sitting in there. bolted in. None of the electrical's hooked up to it or anything yet. So that stuff's boring. And I know for a fact all you guys wanted to see was it getting back into the tractor and just sitting there. So when I clap my hands together, it's all gonna be done. Ready? So there we go. Apparently my editor didn't put the air filter cover back on, but oh well, I don't have a gasket for it. So let's go on ahead and oh, one other thing I did is I did shorten this down. Hopefully that should stop it from leaking. I did drain the gas out of it, by the way, because it was still leaking and I was getting tired of it. So let's go ahead and put gas in it. Get the gas out of my siphon, whatever might be left in here. So now we'll just take our little can and we'll fill the and hopefully it won't leak. Everything for the most part is hooked up. Well, everything's hooked up. It should be hooked up. So it should start and it should run. The throttle's hooked up. I have not added oil to it. Speaking of, that is the only thing at the moment I haven't done. But now since the tractor is in, or the engine's in the tractor, we can go on ahead and see if it'll start. And if it'll start, and we'll see if it'll run. Hopefully. It should start and it should run. If it does start, I hope I don't see it leaking. I don't. That's dry. Good. If it doesn't start leaking, then I'll put some oil in it and we'll take it out and we'll drive it around some and we'll see what it does. Ready? Okay, I think I see what's happening here. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder if we are getting spark. Sorry, I heard it. Looks fairly dry. I wonder if we're getting a spark. Yeah, we're getting spark. Maybe it's just not spinning fast enough. We started it. It started up on the table. I watched it. You guys watched it. So that's definitely interesting. It might be not getting enough gas. That's interesting. So we had it start up when it was sitting over there on the desk. So now all of a sudden, it doesn't want to. That's interesting. However, it did start on the table. Here's something we can try. We can see if we want to put power. Let's just try this and see what it does. You might want to put more oil in it. However, leave it alone for now. 12 volts, shooting to the coil. See if it'll start now. Ready? All right, that's interesting. Okay. What's the problem here? Why is this not starting? I know it'll run because we just had it running sitting on that table. And I know you guys saw that, and I know you guys watched me put it in the tractor. So now, for whatever reason, let's unhook, just run down the list. Let's just go ahead and unhook the field terminal on the generator. I doubt that would have anything to do with it, but you never know. Let's just see what happens. We'll just start eliminating things one by one. Ready? It's doing the exact same thing when we're cranking it with the key switch. It can't be the, as far as I know, it can't be the wiring because, well, the wiring is doing the exact same thing when it's being powered by the wiring. We had it out of the tractor and it started right up. Let me think about it for a minute. Maybe I can come up with something or just, I don't know, maybe get myself an idea. Well, let's go on ahead and see what happens. I charged up the battery in the tractor. We're going to use it instead. I had to charge it because it seemed like it was dead, so let's try it. Let's just see what happens. We only should need the positive lead and that's it. I'm going to touch it to the positive side of the battery. Let's see what happens. Ready? Okay. Choke it. Let's try again. Choke. If it doesn't start, we'll give it some throttle. We got it. All right, so let's see if we can get it to start back up. It seems like we're having some kind of flooding issue, which doesn't make sense. How is it? It started up on the bench. You guys saw it. We started it up and it ran. It tried to start. Nothing changed from bringing it over here from having it on that table. So why is it not starting. I find that really interesting. And it was choked, and I tried starting it too. We didn't put any gas in the cylinder. We just started it off of what was in the tank and what flowed in. It could be, again, maybe there's not enough fuel in the tank. I doubt it, but it could be. Let's just hook the original wiring back up to the engine. Just hook everything back up to it. And once I do that, I'll put some more fuel in that tank, and we'll see what it does. We'll see if that maybe fixes the problem or not. So I hooked the ignition lead back up. I put more gas in it. I still have the jumper lead on the generator. Let's go on ahead and let's see if we can get it to start. I also pulled the spark plug out and let it spin some to throw some gas out. Ready? You gotta be kidding me. It may have been on before, but I don't think it was. Let's find out. Ready? Did anybody else notice as soon as I let off of it, it quit? Did the exact same thing it did before, where it took off and it just stopped when it was sitting in the tractor. Did try to start, however. Ready? Cut that off. Why did it shut off when I let off of the jumper? Okay, hang on. It appears we're not going to be able to get on it because of that crimp. Yeah, now I see what I did. Hold on a second. I was wondering why it wouldn't bite down onto that. Although now it's, oh well, let's see what happens. It'll probably, oh, okay. I was gonna say it'll probably short because, well, right now it was touching ground. But I guess not. Man, that sounds a lot better now since that pulley's not hammering on that crankshaft. If you guys heard that noise earlier, the knocking, that's my belt. It's starting to fall apart, I noticed, and it's hitting on things. That's all that is. Let's see if it'll drive up and down the driveway. Yeah, see, it quieted down because it just now lost the belt. Sounds pretty good. Definitely running a lot better than it used to. It's not even leaking out the breather. Awesome. Look at that. My amp meter's not working, and I don't know why. My battery's not charging. I just haven't figured it out yet. My generator won't spin the engine either. I don't know why. I think I'm going to call it a win. We got it running. So this literally just happened. It's blowing out over here too. And it's still running. Let's get it back to the shop and let's find out what happened. Well, I think I know exactly what happened. I've had this happen before with a Tecumseh that I changed the head gasket on. Yeah, just what I thought. The bolt looks like it broke. I saw it shooting gas, or not shooting gas, I saw it shooting sparks. All of a sudden I hear a loud putt. I'm trying to figure out why it's putting all of a sudden. So I looked at the muffler to see if the muffler fell off. Nope. And then I get off and I see sparks come out the front. So I thought, well, that's not good. So I pulled the hood up and I looked, and sure enough, gas or fire is coming out right there. And well, yeah, that's wonderful. So I guess the next thing we're going to have to do is pull the head, and we're just going to have to see how bad that is. You guys saw it shooting out the front. I think my head gasket just blew because getting it up here to the building, I was trying to get it up here as quick as I could, being as careful as I could without making anything break. And, well, unfortunately, we just blew the head gasket. So I think it's where we're at for now. We're going to have to change that, I guess. I'd like to know what happened and actually when that bolt blew. But yeah, I've had that happen once before. I wish I was filming it when it happened. I was coming back from the house over there. I was coming back to the shop, and all of a sudden it just starts to run funny. So I pulled the hood up to look after I saw the first set of sparks come out the front. And well, sure enough, oh boy. So we may have just killed an engine. I guess we'll have to see. Actually, on second thought, I'm going to leave this a cliffhanger. I guess I'm going to have to figure out what happened to it. We got it running, and of course, you know, since we got it running, something had to happen. We couldn't have just, you know, it couldn't have just been as easy as, oh, let's start it up and get it running. It gave us a fight. In the end, we got it running, so yay. But however, unfortunately, it appears that, well, we blew a bolt. It actually looks, no, I don't see it in there. I will have to look and see where it ended up. I don't know. Hopefully it didn't. I think it would. That's not a stud, is it? No, that's a bolt. I would say, let's see if it'll start back up, but I can't because there's no belt and the wire's not hooked up. So, unfortunately, I guess that's where we're at for now with this guy. We'll have to get back into him and figure out what happened. I wonder if the bolt just broke. Why would the head bolt have broke? I had that exact same thing happen with another engine. It was a Tecumseh, though. I wasn't surprised when that one broke. I am very surprised that this one broke. Let me know what you guys think. I guess we're just going to have to... I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We got it running. Unfortunately, we messed something up. Oh, well. Well, shit. All right, guys. I think it's going to be it. I'll thank you for watching, and I will catch all of you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye. I find that kind of interesting. This one right here was the culprit. I don't know how far into the head it is. I'm hoping that I can get onto it with a pair of vice grips and get it out, you know, and not have to drill into it and ruin the block. Hopefully if we have to, we can drill into it. So we're probably gonna have a bad head gasket. We're gonna have to change the head gasket out, you know, and whatever else we end up figuring out. So I guess that's where we're at for now. So let's just go on ahead and let's get this fuel tank off of here, and then we'll get the long distance. There was a couple of them that were kind of loose, but the rest of them seem okay. The camera would have been rolling when I did it. I could have looked and see if I tightened them or not. I know for a fact I did. Nice that all these. So the camera ran out of memory, and I'm not sure exactly where it ran out. We pulled the head off of it, and we found out the bolt, apparently it must have come out. So luckily, I guess it was just a personal error. Just have to remember that in the future. Here's the head gasket. You can see where it blew out. So, oops. So let's go on ahead and let's put another head gasket back on it. Maybe we can get it started. Just a lot of click, 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 click. So I think what happened before when I put this engine back together is I think that I didn't tighten the bolts. I think I just kind of stuck the head on there, you know, to have it keep dirt and stuff from falling into the engine. I must have done that because there was 1 or 2 bolts that were tight, which I bet you, you know, if that video would have saved or wouldn't have been deleted that I had on this tractor, it'd have probably even, I would have probably even said that and known that these weren't tight. But, oh well, no, I remember tightening those, and I remember it being on camera. I wonder if they just came loose. That might be it. I doubt it. How the hell would they have come loose? Again, your guess is as good as mine, because I truly don't know. I find that kind of interesting, though, for sure. You know, the fact that that had come loose like it did. Because there was a couple of them that were fairly tight. And I normally check them after I tighten them to make sure that they're good, which why it's coming out so slow? I wonder if the little filter inside of this nozzle is clogged. Maybe it's getting to that point. I keep smelling that battery for whatever reason. Let's throw our gas cap back on. And let's crank it. Let's see if it has compression. And let's see if it starts. Ready? You know, plug wire's not hooked up. I knew that. I just wanted to see if you noticed. Yeah, I don't think we're spinning fast enough. We'll get the battery charger hooked back up. That way we can get some more voltage going to the engine, or the battery, I mean. And once we do that, we can see if it's spinning faster, we'll get it to crank better. We should be able to. There we go. Then we'll just come over here, like so. Ouch. Damn it, I quit touching the ground, you moron. That's the only thing I don't like about that tractor is where they have the battery at. And I know I could take a grinder and grind into that holder and get it so I can put the terminals up here instead. But I don't know if them wires are long enough. Ready? Did we just lose the belt? I think we did. Belt popped off. Okay, so evidently we have a problem still. What it is, I don't know. The engine started fine, you know, when it was out of the tractor. Now it's back in the tractor and we're having the same issue. I have a couple of theories in my mind as to what, you know, it could be. But again, I don't think that that's it. It could possibly be, you know, something the tractor has this doesn't like, but we cranked it over with it out of the, or with it not hooked up, sitting in the machine, and we still had issues with it, you know? So that's just kind of, that makes you wonder what it could be. Because like I said before, I've never had this problem before. This is the first. Believe me, I was hesitant to shut this thing off once we got it running earlier. There we go. So now that battery's got some voltage to it. Let's see if we can get it to start. If we can, wonderful. If we can't, well, we'll find out why. Ready? I wanted to. you saying to start it the way that I started it when it was sitting on the table, I am. I am starting it the exact way that it started up when it was sitting on that table. I had the engine at idle and fully choked, and it started. All right, well, I have my theory as to what I think it is. I'm starting to wonder if it's the camshaft. You know, the camshaft maybe could possibly be the problem. I struggle to think that, though, especially with how it ran, you know, not even an hour. Well, a little over an hour ago. You know, it ran fairly good up until the point where that bolt came out. Just so you know, in that little episode, it just did. I didn't choke it once. I may have at the beginning, but that was it. Let's just give it some throttle. Maybe that'll help it. Okay, I think I've seen enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm so tempted just to sell this thing and just make it not my problem anymore. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with it right now. If anybody has any ideas, leave them down below. I think I have my idea. I think it's that camshaft, but again, you know, maybe it's not. I mean, we had that engine pulled apart. It was sitting on the bench. You guys saw everything. We pulled it apart. We opened it up. We looked at the inside of it, you know. It's got a good coil on it. The points are good. The condenser's good. I started it up the same way I did when it was sitting on that table and it still wouldn't start with the jumper cables. Why did it start so easy on that table over there and now all of a sudden it doesn't want to start? I don't get that. All right, guys. Well, I'm not sure what to say about this one. We had a win. We had it running. But unfortunately, I think we have gone back to an old habit. It didn't want to run for whatever reason. If anybody has any ideas, let me know what you guys think it could possibly be that's wrong with this tractor, or if it comes down to it, if anybody out there is interested in it. I had somebody offer me for it. The last offer that I had was $600 for this tractor. again, I really don't want to sell it, but if anybody out there was to make me an offer on it, then maybe I would, or maybe I'd trade it off for something else. I don't know. I'm getting to the end of the line with it. I'm ready to, pull the engine and part it out and just be done with it. But at the same time, I would like to use it for something, so. If anybody has any ideas as to what's wrong with it, please let me know down below. Maybe we'll get into it again here soon and just take the engine completely apart and look into it again. Maybe I missed something. I know for a fact the engine's in time because I had that engine pulled completely apart. We looked through it. Everything looked fine. I have a suspicion about the intake valve. Maybe the intake valve's not seating. That could possibly be it. I don't know. Oh, but it ran just fine sitting on the table. I don't know. Maybe we can get it to start back up. Alright guys, well, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Unfortunately, we couldn't get this stupid thing going. If anybody has any ideas, please just leave me a comment down below and let me know, what you think it is. I think it's that camshaft. I really do. I really don't want to pull it back apart, If anybody has any ideas, let me know. If I figure something out about it, I'll insert it in the video after this. If I don't, well, then you guys are seeing what I know. So, I had the thought of maybe pulling the engine back out of it and seeing if the engine will start out of the tractor. And if it does, maybe we'll try putting it in something else and see what it does. And if it starts up and runs good in something else, then we'll just put it instead something else. And I don't know what I'll do with the tractor. Maybe I'll just sell it. This was the something else that I thought of, is this 140 sitting in here. It's got no motor in it. I've been looking for an engine for it, and that might end up being the choice that I make to throw in this tractor. I don't know, we'll see. I've got a couple ideas. I have a couple other engine ideas, that I could use, but at the moment it's just kind of, more or less, I don't know. All right, guys, I'm rambling at this point. I want to thank you for watching, and I will catch all of you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.